Have you ever been called a novice when you felt confident, or a pedant when you were just trying to help? Welcome. Today, we're exploring English words that describe experience, expertise, and judgment, from complete beginners to recognized experts. Some of these words seem similar at first, but their tone, usage, and implications are very different. Let's listen as Liam, Aisha, and Ethan work through them together.
I just joined a photography club and honestly, I feel like a complete neophyte. I barely know what half the buttons on my camera do.
That actually works well here, because neophyte really emphasizes being new to a field, not just inexperienced.
And there's an interesting origin behind it. The word comes from Greek, neo meaning new, and phyte meaning plant. So it originally referred to something newly planted.
That explains why it feels so extreme, like I've just been dropped into a new environment.
Exactly. But in everyday conversation, most people would probably say novice instead.
Yes, novice is much more neutral and common. You can comfortably say, I'm a novice photographer, without sounding formal or academic.
So neophyte highlights newness, while novice just means not experienced yet.
Both words describe beginners, but neophyte emphasizes newness and often sounds formal, while novice is neutral and widely used.
My cousin just launched a fledgling tech startup, and it's still figuring out its direction.
That's a perfect example, because fledgling comes from birds learning to fly. It suggests something new, but growing.
So it's not just about being inexperienced. It also implies potential.
Exactly. You often hear phrases like fledgling writer, fledgling company, or fledgling democracy.
Now Tyro feels very different to me.
It does. I understand it, but I almost never hear it spoken.
That's because Tyro is more literary and old-fashioned. You're more likely to see it in writing than hear it in conversation.
So while both mean beginner, fledgling feels alive and developing, and Tyro feels distant and formal.
Fledgling suggests growth and promise, while Tyro is a rarer, more literary word for a beginner.
I once made a very callow comment during my first job interview, and I realized it as soon as I said it.
That's a good self-assessment, because callow doesn't just mean inexperienced. It also implies immaturity.
And importantly, it carries judgment. It's rarely neutral.
So if someone describes an opinion as callow, they're criticizing the thinking behind it.
Exactly. You wouldn't usually apply it to yourself unless you're being reflective or self-critical.
Unlike neutral words like novice, callow carries a negative tone and suggests poor judgment or immaturity.
I know someone who calls themselves a filmmaker, a novelist, and a musician, all at the same time.
That sounds impressive, but it could also describe a dilettante.
Yes, because a dilettante dabbles in many fields without deep commitment or mastery.
And it's often critical. You're implying surface-level involvement.
Which is very different from a virtuoso.
Exactly. A virtuoso has exceptional technical skill, especially in music or the arts.
You'd naturally say a piano virtuoso or a violin virtuoso, but not usually a management virtuoso.
So dilettante suggests shallow engagement, while virtuoso represents true mastery.
Dilettante implies superficial interest, while virtuoso signals outstanding technical skill.
My cousin is a real connoisseur of coffee. He can taste the difference between regions instantly.
That's exactly how the word works. A connoisseur has refined taste and deep knowledge.
And they evaluate quality rather than create it.
Right. Now pundit is something else entirely.
A pundit is known for expressing opinions publicly, often in politics, sports, or economics.
And they don't just analyze, they interpret and comment.
Connoisseurs judge quality quietly, while pundits shape public opinion through commentary.
Have you ever corrected someone's grammar and immediately regretted it?
That's a classic example of being pedantic.
A pedant focuses excessively on small rules or details, often at the expense of communication.
So they might be correct, but still unhelpful.
Exactly. Knowledge without awareness can easily turn into pedantry.
Being knowledgeable is valuable, but being pedantic often harms communication. Now it's your turn. Can you use novice, dilettante, or pedant in a sentence? Here's one example. I was a novice at public speaking, but I didn't want to sound like a pedant, so I focused on clarity instead. Try one yourself, say it out loud or write it down.